We are here live in San Fran, and we are joined by Adam Breneman. How you doing, my man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me, guys. I love this setup. One of the best setups I've seen.
Let's go.
Right here with the Miami setup. I love it.
Yeah. And listen, like I told you right before, we're only talking FIU today. All right.
Let's go FIU, man. FIU football.
Oh, give us a pause up.
Yeah.
Pause up.
What is that?
Pause
up. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Is that what's FIU?
Yeah.
All three of them did the pause up.
Hey, no. Hey, well, first off, let me see. Shit, there are only three of us here. But no, listen, thank you for joining us. And you know what's funny too is that I'm a big FIU guy. Yada yada. My brother went to Penn State.
Oh, cool.
So
awesome.
I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. Your playing career, and obviously what happened with you and what led you to essentially joining the broadcast space. So kind of tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so played at Penn State, as you said, was one of the top recruits in the high school coming out, went to Penn State. You know, when you're 16, 17, 18 years old and everyone tells you how great you are, you think you got it all figured out. Like life's going to be really easy. But, had some adversity in my career, went to UMass, sat through Penn State, had a lot of success there, spent some time coaching at Arizona State, was the tight ends coach there for Herm Edwards, Antonio Pierce, and those guys at ASU. Marvin Lewis was on staff. We all got fired at ASU, and then I like anyone does, pivots to media.
Yeah.
And I've been
Damn it, Jaden Daniels.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, we had Jaden. I mean, that when I was at ASU, we had a star-studded roster. We had Jaden Daniels, Ricky Pearsall, Rashad White, Johnny Wilson, Jalen Conyers, all these guys that played in the NFL. They all transferred to other schools and had success other places. Anyway, but got into media, and it's been a fun journey since then, and I've built a following and do broadcasting. As I said, I called an FIU game this year, which I don't remember a lot about it. But Willie Simmons is doing a great job there. So I do want to say that in case FIU fans come at me. But it's been a fun.
I'm going to send them after you. All right, I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send them after you.
We don't need that.
I actually want to ask because obviously, like you mentioned, the transfer portal. It really has become really crazy. What are your thoughts about it? Like, do you think it's good, or do you think it's like it needs tweaking? Like, what do you think about it? Like, I have my thoughts in terms of like where it's the good and the bad. Everything's got pros and cons, but
the portal's been a good thing for college football and a good thing for the players. Think about some of these guys who had challenging careers in college and got the chance to transfer and get another shot at making their career great. I mean, to ask a high school kid to make the right decision every time when he's 17 years old and pick the right school is challenging. But when we've gone too far in the direction of the players. Now we have guys, there's no reason a player should be having at 7 different schools over 7 years.
100%.
It's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
So I'd be a fan of keeping the portal, keep the players being allowed to transfer one time, but bring it back to the middle a little bit where these players can't just transfer 3 times with no penalty. You should have to sit out some kind of penalty. But I'm a fan of kind of the freedom we've given players in college sports.
It's kind of like one of the best, I guess, like fixes that I've seen is that like you get one unlimited transfer, and then if you want to transfer again, it goes back to you got to wait a year. You got to
unless you're a graduate. Unless you're a graduate, then you can, just like the old rules. So I'd be a fan of that.
I think it works, and then like you see stuff like everything. Funny enough with Miami with getting Mensa, right? Like that was. He essentially signed with Duke, and then he's like, nope, I'm heading to Miami. So like, it's a lot of craziness. It is a lot of good, and it's really, it's made college football, like the parity in the league, way more competitive. I mean, the fact that you have Indiana winning the national championship right now, like things like that are really good for the sport. But I do think like it's like towing the line of like it could go down a dangerous path.
Well, you also have some of the benefits of NIL and the portal where the sport of college football, the product on the field has gotten better because you have guys like Dante Moore who could go to the NFL and be probably a top 2 round draft pick, but he decides to stay in college for one more year, make $6 million. But as a college football fan, the product's even better on the field. Because now Dante Moore is in school one more year. So because of NIL, you have these guys staying a little bit longer in school. So what we're watching on Saturdays is a better product. So those guys get to develop. It's more competitive. And then the parity, as you mentioned, makes it even more competitive. That's why you have schools like Texas Tech and Indiana who traditionally have not been in there winning the national championship or making the college football playoff, and some of the powerhouses struggling to be good year after year.
Yeah.
As Dolphin fans, we like to think that Dante Moore went back to school because he didn't want to be a Jet.
No doubt. No doubt. No, I mean, That's probably why.
Yeah.
$6 million at Oregon or go be a Jet. I'm picking Oregon every time.
100%. 100%.
Well, you kind of touched on the playoffs. I want to get your thoughts about kind of the playoff layout altogether. I kind of think Notre Dame got screwed, not because of Miami, because of Alabama.
Yeah.
But talk about the format, and then talk about the the results. Obviously, Miami losing Indiana.
Yeah, I got a serious issue with what happened to Notre Dame, not because of that I'm necessarily convicted that they should have been in the playoff. But if you're going to have them in the playoff for all the rankings leading up to the final one,
exactly.
to then boot them out is just absurd. I'm I'm not even saying they should have been in over Miami or Alabama. I just mean like the whole system of the playoff ranking show, and then like at the last one, just booting them out of playoff.
Like, this is your system.
No doubt.
You said they deserve it all year.
Crazy.
And now
you're saying they don't. So it's I'm not a fan of that. I will say, I think. I'd be a fan of maybe going to 16, expanding a little bit. I'm not a fan of getting to 20 plus teams in the playoff. I think
it's too much.
We don't need March Madness.
For sure. But the thing about this, one of the reasons that college football is such a powerful sport, the reason that college football has better TV ratings than the NBA Finals. So a college football game between Alabama and Auburn will have better ratings than Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Yeah. The reason is because every single game in college football matters. Mm-hmm. It makes a difference. If you lose one of those games, it impacts your entire season. Yeah. I'm a fan of expansion, but at some point, what happens when you create more of something? You dilute the value of everything else, and everything else is less valuable. So you don't want to make the games less important by allowing 35 teams in the college football playoff. Where then if you lose week 4, week 5, week 6, you're like, man, we can still make the playoff.
Yeah. I've kind of sticking with the playoffs. Obviously, it's really a big conversation around the G5 spot, right? Or like the the automatic bid. Obviously, I'm biased. I love the G5 spot because in the sense of like, one day, it opens the door for FIU to get in there. Yeah. What do you think about it? Do you think they should, or do you think that? Well, especially if they expand, I guess they'll still keep it. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've said for a while that I think there should be a group of 5 playoff, and kind of like have them compete with each other. I got a lot of hate for that on social media of fans saying like people don't like that.
My dad was probably in your mentions.
Yeah, people were killing me for it. and I guess maybe the thing I didn't consider was like the ability for a group of 5 teams to compete at the highest level. It's just really having 2 different leagues at that point. But I do think that more football for the group of 5 is better and give them a chance. So, I'd be a fan of putting one team in the 12-team playoff and the rest of them have a playoff. I don't know what it looks like, man.
I kind of like that.
I would be a fan of letting them compete in the big dance with the top teams, and then also having a group of 5 system that works.
Yeah, because like if you look at it, and I get the argument also, right? But you look at the JMU Oregon game wasn't really close. They still dropped 34 points on Oregon, and next week Texas Tech dropped 0.
Yeah, I do think,
I know different scenario.
I think we can all agree that we don't need 2 of them in the playoff, though.
Yes, and listen, you can blame the ACC for that one. You can blame them for that. But I actually like that because I do think that a G5 should have a representative in the college football playoffs. Yeah. They're all Division I, you know what I mean? But I like the idea of kind of having another G5 playoff too, like almost like the NIL, or not NIL. What's the one in March Madness that's technically the second?
NIT.
NIT. Yeah. And a bunch of P4 teams playing that too, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's the thing. But also, like, one of the things that I miss about college football in the sense of it's still there, but bowls used to matter more.
No doubt.
And I miss, and like, they still matter to teams like FIU, right? Like I went to the First Responders Bowl in Dallas, and they're always a blast and they're always awesome. But like I feel like because of the playoffs and because of the NIL stuff and the transportal, obviously you've got a bunch of people opting out, and then you have people that don't want to get hurt in these games. That's like the one thing that I miss the most of, like, even if you didn't make the playoffs, or at the time the BCS Big Four, those games still matter to almost everybody. Yeah,
no doubt. And you got to think about the development of the players, giving them more opportunities to have practice and to have reps. Those bowl games are important, man. And I really think there's no one. If you really think that the players don't want to win those games, you haven't been in a locker room. Like, everyone wants to win. Conference championships still matter. Bowl games still matter. I just think it's a matter of figuring out the scheduling more than anything else. Like keeping the bowl games, but how do we make sure that the last game of the regular season isn't, and then the time to the national championship game isn't 2 months?
Yeah,
I mean, just way too long to get to that point.
Didn't they push it back even further this year?
Like January 25th is like the national championship in 27. Crazy.
I think that's insane.
Yeah,
like,
wild.
So
not a fan of it.
Yeah.
I think what makes like March Madness so special is like every game could be your last. So I think you're right about the whole like no one cared if it was the Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Tostitos Bowl. When you growing up watching Vince Young running into the end zone first year, it was all awesome. Yeah. And you knew this game, whoever lost was done. Yeah. And whoever won was the winner. But I definitely think they kind of ruined the kind of like specialness of the bowl games.
Oh man, well, Adam, this is awesome. Yeah. This is great. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate you.